Coin Associates and Small Business, where every day we come on and we ask the questions to make sure you get the best tax return and to make sure you save money when starting your business, building your business, because bad, wrong mistakes is going to cost you time and money. Today we're going to talk about the 5 steps to open up an LLC or a corporation. Guys, if you do it wrong, it's going to get kicked back. It's going to cost you time and money and effort. These 5 states, these 5 steps, it doesn't matter what state you live in, they are all the same. The first step is, you got to go on the state. Every state has a division of corporations. You know, you go sit there and you Google it and you go to division of corporations. The second thing you got to do is you got to go and do the research to make sure the name is available. Because what's going to happen is, in all these states, if you don't do the research to make sure the name isn't available, then they're going to kick it back. They're going to kick it back to you, and you got to start all over again. Adding S's and these and those and adding cities does not make it different. But what I've always done with my clients, and I'm going to give you an example, is I want to sell red shoes, and there's a bunch of other people who sell red shoes on the state website. We need the research. So you could put wide shoes, left shoes. If it's a business, like the accounting, if you wanted to come and emulate Coin Associates accounting, so we're a Coin Associates accounting services, change services to management, and change the last word. All the states always say that it has to be materially different. So changing the last word always will make the difference. Step number 2 is the main office must be in the state. Okay, you have to have a main office in the state. That's not saying the same thing would be is you could have the main office in the state, but you could have a mailing address anywhere in the world. A good example of this is I do in my office over like 50 corporations that we opened up all over the country. But for the state of Florida, they use my office as the corporate address for the state. Okay, for the state, for the state of Florida, but the mailing address can be someplace else. Okay, because if you don't put it within the state, you know, you can't. It won't count. The next tip is you need a registered agent. Registered agents is so funny because you see people online, and I found somebody, I just helped somebody today, that they're going to charge you like $300 to be the registered agent. Dude, you don't need that. You can be the registered agent. You know, the only difference is on registered agents is, there again, it's the same thing. You must have an office in the state in order to be the registered agent for that state. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that, okay, the registered agent, you can have it in the state, a state office in the state, but you can have a mailing address in another state. Couple of the quick workarounds if you want to open up in different states is go to a UPS store, opening up a mailbox. Okay, open up a mailbox. That's considered in the state. That will work. And you know, that will work. If you're in the state, another good thing is you can use your house. You can use your house as the mailing address and as the business address. That does not matter for any of these states. Okay, that doesn't matter with any of the states. You could always use your states. You can always use that. And now the fourth thing, okay, you know, the fourth thing is make sure you use the email. Okay, make sure, okay, the fourth thing you got to remember when you open up the corporation is make sure you have an address and an email that you can find about. Because when the renewals come in, you're going to send it to that address and that email. Okay, so make sure you have that address and that email. Because remember, there's going to be a state renewal. You know, I open up so many corporations for people, and I remind them, and they say, well, I didn't know that I have to pay the renewal. Of course you got to pay the renewal. You know, in Florida, and every state has renewals. A lot of states have different times. A lot of different states have different requirements. That's all different from the states. But what I was talking about before, they all are the same. Then obviously, once you get the papers back, you then go to the IRS website, and then you get the EIN number. Okay, the trick on the EIN number is make sure you click you do not have employees, because if you click that button, you have employees, and you don't send in those 940s, they're going to send you money. But here's another trick. Okay, you can put you don't have employees, but then when you get employees, you just go and download the 940 or get somebody to do the 940, because you now have employees and now you have any information. By the way, if you have any questions or comments, you could always leave them below, or you can put it at the top here. Coy & Associates always has free consultation. All right, we always have, so just, you can get a hold of us at albert@1040w2.com is our email address. Go to 1040w2.com, and there's a pop-up, and you could always ask any questions. That's what we're here for. You remember, sharing is caring, guys. Please share this. We're here to help you change the world. We're here to make sure that you can save time and money. That's what we're here for, to make sure that you can save time and money. And we're always around every other day. Every day we come on. And please, if you have any topics you want to talk about, you could always post it below. Post it below, and we'll get back to you. And that's the topic from my next show, because it is your show, and we make it for you. This is Albert Coy from Coy & Associates Accounting and Small Business, guys. Talk to you soon. Remember, sharing is caring. Bye-bye.